Hey guys and gals, it's a beautiful Sunday afternoon in southern Oklahoma. We got a cold front coming in. We got cloud cover. It's kind of a little bit nippy out here. It's not bad though. It's pretty nice. If we had the sunshine, it'd be really toasty warm, but it's pretty nice out here. Got just a little bit of breeze blowing, and that's all good. We have rain coming in. We were talking about 2 and 3 inches 3 or 4 days ago. They have that forecast all the way back to about a ½ inch now, but that's good. We'll take a ½ inch of rain. We won't have any problem with that at all. But we've had a great week here at the Eagle. I got to fish a couple days this week, one day on Lake 10 Killer. Caught a 4-pound smallmouth bass on a spinnerbait and just absolutely like to jerk it out of my hand. Had a tough day, but we got a pretty good little fishing segment out of it. Went and fished the next day over on the Arkansas River around Muskogee and fished there all day long. Had a tough day there as well. I had a really silly thing happen throughout that morning. The 5 of the first 6 fish that I got on came unbuttoned. I lost 5 out of 6. If it had been a tournament, I'd been pulling my hair out, what's left of it. But 3 of us on a spinnerbait, 2 of them on a little Lucky Strike Deep Smoothie crankbait. So I had 5 fish hooked that could just come off. You know, I saw most of those fish, and they were good fish, you know, 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 pound fish. And so I caught only 1 out of 6. I ended up catching, as we got into the afternoon, about 7 or 8 in a row without losing a single one. So just something about they were biting that morning. The one I caught, I just barely had hooked with the red man spinnerbait, just barely had hooked. So you're going to run into days like that. When they happen during the tournaments, it just absolutely drives you wild. It sort of drove me crazy as we was trying to do a television show. But anyway, we had a great time. Got to fish a couple days this week. Had a wonderful time here at the ranch. Beautiful weather all week. Again, Indian summer. We do have a cold front coming in. Supposed to get a lot of rain in places in Oklahoma tonight and tomorrow. But I've got a great week planned this week. I will be in St. Augustine, Florida on Wednesday night. That's right, Wednesday night the 20th. If you're anywhere within a couple, 2 or 3 hours of St. Augustine, Florida, you want to plan on going over there that evening. Beginning at 5 o'clock that evening, we will be opening the new Bass Pro Shop store in St. Augustine, Florida. That's south of Jacksonville. And this is an incredible opening because 2 of my great buddies will be there with me. I'll be doing the MCing of the opening, but Bill Dance and Roland Martin will be there. That's right, Bill Dance, Roland Martin, and myself. And it's such a special occasion when you get the 3 of us together. That's very, very unusual. Very few people in the whole country have got a picture with all 3 of us. So I'd suggest that if you want a picture of Bill Dance, Roland Martin, and me, and you in that picture, you might want to show up that night because it's a very unusual situation when all 3 of us get together. We've been friends. We've competed against each other forever. There's a lot of tournament wins, several $1 million won among those 3 people right there. Several Bass Angler of the Year titles. Ironically, not a single one of us has won the Bassmaster Classic. I've won a couple other classics at other organizations, but have not won the Bassmaster Classic. But anyway, it's going to be a spectacular evening. Johnny Morse will be there also. Now, if you want to talk about getting a picture with something really special, get you a picture with Johnny Morse, the founder of Bass Pro Shop. And we're really looking forward to that evening. The store actually opens at 6 o'clock, but we're going to have the activities will begin at 5 o'clock, and the activities will begin with quite a bit of stuff going on out in front of the store. And then Bill and Roland and I'll get up on the stage and entertain a little bit, and I'm not sure what we'll do. We won't be singing and dancing, I can pretty well promise you that. But we'll be having some fun up there, telling some stories, answering some questions, and just visiting with everybody. We'll be there all evening that evening on Wednesday evening, this coming Wednesday, November 20th, St. Augustine, Florida, the new Bass Pro Shop store. It's a spectacular store, absolutely unbelievable store. Everything will be the best prices of the year that you can get anything. We've got Christmas coming up. You get all your Christmas shopping that night, save you a bundle of money, get you a bunch of Bass Pro Shop reward points. That way you can get a bunch of stuff for yourself after Christmas is over. But plan on being there, Bass Pro Shop, St. Augustine, Florida. The other big thing going on, and Bill and I are involved in this, along with my buddy Hank Parker, is the Mercury Outboard giveaway. That's right, a Mercury engine. You can win a Mercury engine absolutely free up to 300 horsepower. 300 horsepower, that's a $32,000 plus value. Up to $32,000 value, up to 300 horsepower to repower your boat. If you don't have a boat, I think you can still win the motor. Not sure about that. But you must enter under one of the 3 of us. You must enter under Jimmy Houston, Bill Dance, or Roland Martin. And we're having a contest between the 3 of us of who can get the most people to enter to win that Mercury engine. And the 2 losers, Bill and Hank, will get a pie in their face at the Bassmaster Classic next year in Fort Worth, Texas. Probably on that final day on Sunday of the Bassmaster Classic. They will have to wear a shirt with Jimmy Houston's picture on it, saying that Jimmy is the #1 legend in their opinion. And it's going to be a lot of fun. So we want to make sure that Jimmy gets the most entries into that. So be sure and enter. You can look at a lot of our videos. We've got a QR code on there. You scan that QR code and enter to win you a new Mercury motor. It's an absolutely fantastic prize. If I could enter, I'd enter myself to win one. I've got a 2003 Ranger boat with a 250 horsepower Mercury on it. I would love to replace that with a brand new 250 horsepower Mercury 2025 model, but they won't let me enter. And if I entered, though, I would definitely enter under Jimmy. I promise you that. But so be sure and get involved in a lot of our videos. We've got that on there. You can go to jimmyhouston.com also and enter that contest. Speaking of jimmyhouston.com, you can also go to jimmyhouston.com and get our newsletter, our Jimmy Houston Outdoors newsletter. It's an email newsletter, doesn't cost anything at all. We send it out on the 1st of every month. So we'll send the next one out December 1, and we send it out the 1st of every month. All of the people that are subscribed to our newsletter, and we got several thousand people on that newsletter, all the people who subscribe to the newsletter will get a special Black Friday discount from Jimmy Houston Outdoors. You'll be getting a note on that, special Black Friday discount. So if you want to get that Black Friday discount, you need to sign up for that newsletter because Black Friday is just around the corner, Everybody's talking about it right now. So sign up for our newsletter. It's absolutely free. It's an incredibly great newsletter. It's, I think, the best newsletter. A lot of people sending out newsletters. I think this is the best one in the business, really do. It's absolutely fantastic. By the way, I'll be at that store next Wednesday night in St. Augustine, Bass Pro Shop store in St. Augustine next Wednesday night. But I'll be at the Land and Sea Show up in Unicastle, Connecticut on Thursday and Friday. So those of you that are planning on going to that show, the Unicastle Land and Sea Show in Unicastle, Connecticut on Thursday and Friday, I'll be there along with Roland Martin. Now, Bill will not be there with us. We will be in the Booyah Clean booth. Booyah Clean is the boat cleaner that has absolutely taken the nation by storm. The great thing about Booyah Clean, it is EPA approved. You can wash it on a boat ramp, wash it off, wash it right into the lake. EPA approved to be able to do that. Only boat cleaner I know that's approved to be able to do that. If you have a boat stall, you got your boat in the stall, you can rent it right in the stall, rinse it right into the lake, perfectly approved to do that. You can buy it just about any marina around the country. That's pretty much all the marinas are selling right now. It's Booyah Clean. Roland Martin and I have been using this cleaner for years and years and years, and they finally got all of the stuff done through the United States government to have that EPA approved. So we're always thinking of clean water, better water conservation, and you're doing your part in conservation when you're washing your boat, cleaning your boat with Booyah Clean Cleaner. But we'll be there in the Booyah Clean booth, though. So if you're at that Land and Sea Show, be sure to come by the Booyah Clean, visit with Roland and I. We'll have something fixed up there where you can take some pictures. I'm sure that'll be kind of cool. But Booyah Clean people are pretty high-tech people, so they've always got some cool things going on. But so we'll be at that show Thursday and Friday. So Wednesday will be at St. Augustine. Thursday and Friday, Roland and I will be in Unicastle, Connecticut, there at the Land and Sea Show. So be sure, if you're anywhere within a couple, 2 or 3 hours of St. Augustine, be sure and come by and visit Bill Dance, Roland Martin, Johnny Morris, and myself. We're going to have a great time. There'll be a lot of other celebrities there as well, too. There'll be some other guys there that are probably a whole lot more important than us 3 fishermen. 4 fishermen, I should say. Johnny Morse, you might not realize, but qualified for the first 5 Bassmaster Classics. He's a really terrific fisherman, a very terrific fisherman. He really is. But also, I wanted to let you know that I did go out and spend a couple of evenings in a deer stand this week. I went out about 3 o'clock and stayed till dark, which is only a couple hours, 2.5 hours, something like that. First evening, I had a great evening out there. The second evening was spectacular. So when you see the videos, probably be a 2-part videos. I think I shot about 34 minutes of video. Absolutely spectacular, the second part of that video. First part is pretty cool, a lot of deer around and everything, kind of nice. But the second part, some spectacular stuff happened. It was just absolutely an incredibly great hunt. Just a lot of fun, fun. And one big giant deer. I got to tell you, you ought to see, wait till you see this deer. It was not a deer we've ever seen here at the house. I was on the outside of the high fence, but he was really a big, beautiful deer. We had several bucks that second day. I say I was by myself. First day I took Benelli with me, which is probably why I didn't see any bucks at all. Also, I wanted to mention one other thing. Several of y'all have been asked and said you've not been given many updates on Chris, and I apologize for that. I know a lot of you are still praying. And Lord of mercy, I appreciate those prayers. Keep praying. Y'all tell me all the time. So many of you tell me that you pray for Chris every single day, and I know you do. I definitely do. I pray for every single day. But it means something. It means something when someone else prays for you. When somebody tells you they pray for you, that's a big deal. most all of us pray for ourselves. We pray and we ask God to give us safety, to give us discernment, to help us make a decision, to get us through situations. We pray for all kinds of things, and we're usually praying and asking God for something. We do a lot of praying, praising and glorifying God, and thanking God for all of the blessings He pours down upon us all the time. But to pray for somebody else is really something great. It's called an intercessory prayer, where we're praying for someone else. And I pray for a lot of other people. I pray for everybody on our social media every single day. We have a lot of folks on there that ask for specific prayers about things, and I try to mention them by name when I'm talking to God about that. And if I can remember exactly what they asked to be prayed about, I talk to God about that. And it's a big deal. I know a lot of y'all pray for me every day. I can just feel it in my spirit that you pray for me. And I know a lot of you pray for Chris because you tell me you do. You tell me you do. And here we are. We're, by the way, between 43 and 44 months since she's had that stroke. That's right, over 3.5 years. Over 3.5 years. And the poor girl still can't walk. That's the worst thing in the whole deal, is she can't walk. And she's taking nice steps with her right leg. She still can't feel her leg. I don't know what that was. Wasn't a mosquito, because it didn't bite me. Some kind of bug crawled on my face. But she still can't walk. She can move that right leg. She takes a nice big step with it. She can't feel her right leg. It's still numb. It's hard to move, but she's able to move it. So her brain is connected with her leg enough to do that. She still can't move her right arm. Her fist is still clenched, and I have to pry her fingers open and put something in there to try to keep her open. I wear a brace on her hand. And her right arm, when she completely heals, her right arm will be the last thing that heals, they said. I told her here the other day, I may have mentioned it, I don't know, but I told her the other day, I said, honey, when you get back where you can walk and where you can fish again, I'm going to retire. I'm going to retire from all this 70, 80-hour work weeks and take you fishing every day. I'm just going to retire and take you fishing every day for as long as we live. But she is doing good, you know, and her voice is still not back to normal. She's still got a little bit of that deep stroke voice, but so many things that she says, it's got that sweet angelic voice. And when she talks to me in that voice and that tone, it's just like a blessing's falling from heaven. And not only that, is she talks to me usually when she's got that perfect, that angel tone in her voice like she's had all her life. She's saying something completely audible that I can understand, completely clear as it can be, a full sentence just as clear as it could be. And it just thrills my heart. My heart just likes to explode. It gets so hot, but she doesn't do that all the time. Many times she will say a whole sentence, and I'll say, oh, I don't know, you know, and she'll know that wasn't the answer I was supposed to give. And then I'll say, okay, we'll try again. So she'll try again. It's just, it never mind. And but many times she just talks a complete full sentence, and sometimes she did carry on a conversation, and we're talking just back and forth, and I'm understanding everything she says, and then a sentence or two will come out that there's not a single word in there that I can understand. But she is better all the time. She is better all the time. She's gained some weight. Like I said, I probably had one of the very few wives in the entire United States, maybe the entire world, where their husband tells them they need to talk more and gain weight. Well, she's gaining weight. She has gained some weight, and she does talk quite a bit. She does, and sometimes I understand all of that, and sometimes I don't. But can I tell you, I still believe as strongly right now as I did 43 months ago that God is healing Chris. I believe that it's God's will to heal Chris. I've prayed for Him to heal her from day one. Those 646 miles that I drove from Alabama back, after I'd driven 646 miles that day and then turned around and retraced my steps, I prayed to God. I talked to God for 646 miles. You might think you would run out of something to say in talking to God for 646 miles, but I never run out of anything to say. I cried a lot, and I talked to my Savior for 646 miles, and I told Him to keep her alive. Keep her alive, God. Keep her alive. Whatever shape she may be in, I'll accept that, but keep her alive. God did that. God answered that prayer 100%, 1,000%. Once He kept her alive, obviously Jimmy wanted more. Jimmy asked for more, just like King Hezekiah when God told him he wasn't going to die. He's going to live 15 more years. Hezekiah started asking him for more. and so I asked for more. I asked for God to completely heal Chris. And I believe in my heart, I believe in my soul, I believe in my mind that God will heal Chris. So those of you that are still praying, keep praying. Keep praying. I pray every day, every single day. I pray for her complete 100% healing. A few of you have said, well, Jimmy, I know she's going to walk in heaven. Yes, she will walk in heaven. There's no doubt about that. Blind folks will see in heaven. Deaf people will talk. Cripples will walk. There's no doubt about that. She might even fly in heaven. I don't really know, but I know that she'll walk in heaven. But I believe in my heart, in my mind, in my soul, that she will walk here on this earth. I think that she'll be able to use her right hand. I think that angel voice will come back, and I think her words will be distinctive and plain, and she'll be 100% healed again. I don't know how long that's going to take. I know it's going to take longer than 43 months, but 44 months will be the 5th of December. December 5 will be 44 months, so it might not take 44 months. It might only take 43 months and whatever's left of between now and then. Because I believe, without a shadow of a doubt, that she could get up and walk out here on this deck right now through the power, through the resurrection power of Jesus Christ. Resurrection power of Jesus Christ does more than just raise us from the grave to an eternity in heaven. The Jesus Christ power of his resurrection heals right here on this earth. And I've seen it happen over and over again. Many of y'all have also. And I believe he's going to heal Chris through his power right here on this earth. I've had two different visions during this last 43 months. And both times she came walking up to me. Both times I woke up from those visions crying. Those were visions. They weren't dreams. They were visions. I think I can tell the difference. I've only had one other vision in my entire life, and I've lived a long time. So, by the way, I just have to share this with you. As I was getting coffee when I was going over to fish the Arkansas River last Tuesday morning, I was getting coffee at our store, Jimmy Houston Outdoor Store there on Lake Tencarroll. And by the way, we'll have our pecans there pretty soon. I'm taking 50 bags over there. We'll have pecans there to sell this coming week. I'm taking over Tuesday evening, so beginning Wednesday, we will have 50 bags of pecans over there. They will go pretty quick. We are taking orders for pecans right now. You can get those order pecans at jimmyhouston.com or give us a call at area code 918-457-5115 and order your pecans. We are shipping pecans right now. And so we're just starting to ship them, and so you'll be able to get your pecans. We kept the prices. They're the same as they were last year, the year before, and the year before. So they're the same as they were. Maybe the only thing that hasn't gone up in price in the last 3 or 4 years. Jimmy Houston Twin Eagle Ranch pecans, and they're the best pecans you will ever eat. I promise you. You'll write me a note back. You'll comment on here and say, Jimmy, those are the best pecans I've ever tasted. They are the best because they're fresh. These pecans are never frozen. All the pecans that you buy in any store, wherever that might be, unless you buy them right now somewhere where they're just coming straight out of the pecan groves, have been frozen. And when they've been frozen, they just don't taste as good. Pecans are good no matter what. Pecans are the healthiest nut out there, I'm told. I'm not a biologist as far as pecan biologist by any stretch of the imagination, but they tell me they are the healthiest nuts. So order you some Jimmy Houston pecans. They're fantastic gifts to give people. If you own a business and you want to give a very special gift to some of your customers and some of your clients that you do business with, send them Jimmy Houston pecans. We have several people that do that. Some companies order lots and lots and lots of bags of pecans. We'll send them out individually. We can send you them all, and you can give them to them individually, however you want that done. You can, if you want to send out to 100 different people, you give us those names and addresses, we'll send them out to them. So that's not a problem. But they will be the best pecans anyone's ever had. They're an incredibly good, unique gift. It's the only place you can get Jimmy Houston pecans is right here from us. And either that or at Jimmy Houston Outdoor Store. It's the only place we sell them retail down on Lake Tencarroll. But when I was in there last Tuesday, what I was telling you when I thought about the pecans was I was getting coffee, and there was a man told me, Jimmy, I really enjoy your preaching every morning. And I tell him, I said, well, I'm not preaching. I said, that's a daily devotional. It's a scripture from the Word of God, a daily devotional, a fishing tip. It's not preaching. And he said, I really, really enjoy it. He said, I wish you'd done that about 20 years ago. And I said, well, actually I did. I actually wrote that first book back, it might have been 20 years ago or close to 20 years ago. And we're doing the second one now. We're going to go back to the Catch of the Day book beginning January 1, by the way, and go through that book in 2025. But we still have a few copies of the Catch of the Day book. I ordered some extra to be printed. So if you don't have the Catch of the Day book and you want to follow along, you can get that at jimmyhouston.com also. I don't know the price of them, but they're less expensive than the Catch a Better Life book, of course. But we'll be reading and doing our devotionals and our fishing tips and scriptures out of that Catch of the Day book in 2025, beginning January 1. So, but anyway, he said, he said, I didn't know you had that. And I said, well, yeah, it was actually several years ago when I wrote the first one. The second one is what we're doing now. He said, there's so much of that stuff I could have used. And I said, well, you could still use it. He said, Jimmy, I'm 90 years old. And I said, what? And he said, I'm 90 years old and I just don't get to fish as much. Those are great fishing tips you have on there. And I'd sure like to try a lot of them out. And, but he said, I don't get to fish as much. He said, I sold my boat. But he said, I bought another boat the other day. I've been having Jamie get me some parts and stuff and trying to fix that boat up. And I'm still going fishing some. And I said, did you say 90? Did I hear you say 90? And he said, that's right, 90 years old. And I said, well, dude, I said, I'm 80. I said, man, you look fantastic. You look great. And I would never have guessed. I might have guessed him 70 at the most. Probably would have guessed in the high 60s. Absolutely incredible. 90 years old. It just does my heart good. I promise you. If you're 30 or 40 or 50, you're probably thinking, man, I look at you, Jimmy, at 80, and I think, I don't want to be 80. I would get that age, but when you reach 80 and you meet somebody that's 90, and when he gets around, is in there getting him a cup of coffee that morning at the Jimmy Houston Outdoor Store, visiting with everybody in there, healthy, moving around good, driving himself, doing all this kind of stuff, makes you realize how good God has been to him. How good God has been to him makes you realize how good God has been to you, that you're in there visiting, talking with him. And it gives us a lot of hope that we've got a lot of years left. And, I've told you many times, God told me I was going to live to be 95. So I think I'll fly by that 90 and just keep on cruising past 90. But did my heart good, made me feel good. I went out there and fished hard all that day, fished all the way till dark. When we come down that river, it was dark when we come back into the harbor and loaded our boat out. And I think we ended up catching 8 or 9 fish total that we actually put in the boat. We put our hands on 9 maybe. And we should have caught another 5 more. So we had a pretty good day out there. It'll make a really nice television show. And we'll also have it on our Jimmy Houston Outdoors fishing channel on YouTube. And over on Facebook, Jimmy Houston Outdoors, all capital letters, we'll have that over there. We'll have those segments on there, some of those already. We give you a little preview on our YouTube channels and our Facebook channels of the television show. The new shows will begin the first weekend in January or the last weekend in December. I'm not sure which. We will be back on ESPN2 again for the first 20 weeks of the year. We will be on WFN, the World Fishing Network. We'll be on the Discovery Channel for several weeks of the year. We'll be on the Hunt Network. We'll be on the Pursuit Network. And we'll be on Heartland, Space City, which was AT&T Sports Southwest down in Houston, Space City now. Heartland Network, My Family, Walk Television. I think about 12 or 15 different networks that we're on. So the new series will be starting at the end of December, which is just right around the corner, either that weekend or the following weekend. And we'll be on all 52 weeks on almost all of those channels, except for some of them that we're only on for the first couple of quarters. So it's going to be a fantastic television year. That, by the way, is our 48th year on national television. 48th year on national television. I think 3 of the 5 longest running outdoor shows, or not outdoor shows, television shows in the history of television. All television shows. 3 of the 5 longest is Bill Dance Outdoors, Fishing with Roland Martin, and Jimmy Houston Outdoors. I think the other 2 are like General Hospital and All My Family or something like that. I need to Google that up and see just exactly what the deal is on that. I know that I'm number 3 behind Roland and Bill. I know that. But with the Mercury engine giveaway contest, I am going to be number 1 in front of Bill and Hank Parker. So I know that too. But it's been a great week. We're looking forward to another great week. We thank God for the week that we've had, and we just can't wait to see what he's going to do next in our lives. The preacher was talking this morning about intercessory prayer in church this morning, which is what made me think about that. Pray for somebody this week. There's so many people you had to pray for. And I tell you something else that I thought about while the preacher was preaching this morning was how how in watching television over the last several months through all this election, we've seen so many hateful things said and done on television, and so many unhappy people and demonstrations and people breaking windows and throwing rocks and doing all kinds of things. And now it seems like that we have a lot of people that are just drastically unhappy. Can I tell you that your joy is not controlled by whether your guy or your girl didn't win the political race that you might be really heavily involved in, whether it's a president's race or your governor or the senator or congressman. And I've got some really, really good friends that are that are involved in politics, and congressmen, United States senators, governors, and I really, it hurts when they lose. But I'm going to tell you what, I can't think of a single time when any of the people that are friends of mine have lost an election that it's robbed me of my joy. Don't let an election rob you of your joy. Don't let anything rob you of your joy. Your joy is what you make of the day. It's not what other people, it's not what circumstances, it's not it's not anything but you. You control your joy. The Bible talks constantly about God wanting us to have an abundance of joy. He wants us to be happy. He wants us to be smiling. He wants us to be portraying the love of Jesus in everything that we do. And we don't need to be unhappy. We don't need to be sad. And there are going to be lots of terrible things happening in everybody's life. We're going through a situation right now that I'm not kidding you. It's not easy. The situation that Chris and I are going through right now with her not being able to walk, but I love having her at the ranch with me every day. It's the greatest thrill in my life to have her. We have so much fun. We smile, we joke. She winks at me like it's a little playful wink, and she's just cute as a bug. I just, as all the difficult parts of it, just go by day by day by day, because we smile at each other, we laugh, we have fun, we make every day joyful, even through the hardship that we're having to face, and the fact that she can't walk, and she can't go fishing. There's so many things that she can't do, but she can smile, she can wink, she can laugh, she can brighten my life with that smile, and I can brighten her with mine. I know that without a doubt. And we make every day joyful. So don't let things that's going on in your life, don't let things that's going on in the country, don't let that steal your joy. We have Thanksgiving coming up here in another week. We got this coming week, and then the following week is Thanksgiving week. And there will be families that don't even have Thanksgiving together because they're on the wrong side of the political spectrum. That is the silliest thing I've ever heard of in my life. So don't let politics steal your joy. Don't let anything steal your joy. Don't let a sickness, an illness, even a death in your family steal your joy. Yeah, you're going to mourn. You're going to mourn when things like that happen. But, you still can have joy, because God will fill your heart with joy. When we go to funerals, they're like the saddest thing in the world, because we hurt ourselves for whom we've lost. And as you get older, like I have, you lose people every single week. I lost a really good friend of mine this week, Tom Mahoney. Tom was 83 years old, and I remember Tom telling me when he was 70, boy, Jimmy, this 70's tough. It's tough. I remember telling him when he got to be 80, Jimmy, I didn't think 70, I thought 70 was tough. It wasn't tough at all. It's really hard now at 80. And I lost Tom this week, and it was probably Ricky Green, my buddy Ricky Green, which we lost several years ago. I carried Ricky to the grave, spoke at his funeral and carried him to the grave. And Tom Mahoney was probably Ricky Green's best friend. They ran around together all their life, and they just had and that's how I met Tom Mahoney, and Tom became such a great friend of mine. But we lost Tom Mahoney this week, and yeah, we grieve, we suffer a loss when we lose a friend like that. But the first thing I thought of was Tom and Ricky's together again. And even though we've lost Tom here on this earth, we will see Tom again one day, just like I'll see Ricky again one day. And so I mentioned somebody back when Toby Keith died back in January. Not too long before that, Jimmy Buffett had died. And I think Jimmy produced Toby's first song or something, and I can't remember what he told me, but he'd done something there. Jimmy had done something. I had never met Jimmy Buffett, but anyway, him and Toby was good friends, and he called me when Jimmy died and said that we lost a good one today. We really lost a good one. And he said, Jimmy Buffett. And I said, I heard that, Toby. And that's the one thing I thought about was that Toby and Jimmy are together again, you know. And so it hurts us, and we mourn for the family, and we're sad. But you know, even when you go to a funeral, and after the funeral, and you're having a dinner, usually it's the way we do it in the South. We're usually having dinner with the family and friends, and people are getting together in groups and talking with each other. And sometimes you're visiting with people you hadn't seen in months or years, and people are laughing and telling stories and telling things that happened in their life with the people that they just lost. And so even at a funeral, God brings joy. But joy is something that you control. When you get up in the morning, you just tell the whole dang world, no matter what's going on, you're going to have a great day. Your attitude's going to be good. No matter what they throw at you, you're going to be joyful. And so one guy told me one time back when I was I'd been out of college just a few years and was struggling through some big financial situation where I couldn't pay my bills, and I was selling insurance at the time, and I was just gone through a period of time there where I wasn't getting anybody to say, yeah, I'll buy that insurance. And I was just struggling a little bit and worried about making a car payment and making a house payment, and one guy told me, he said, don't let the SOBs steal your joy. And I said, what? He said, don't let the SOBs, and he said the word, you know, don't let them steal your joy. And I said, well, they're not stealing my joy. What's stealing my joy is nobody's buying any insurance. He said, that's the SOBs I'm talking about. And so I thought, you know, don't let them steal your joy. Don't let them steal your joy. The devil wants you to be unhappy. God wants you to be joyful. The devil wants you to be sad and brokenhearted. God wants you to live an abundant life. So don't let them steal your joy. Live every day to the fullest. Enjoy life, whatever your circumstances might be. I wouldn't have chosen this road with Chris for anything in the world. I'd rather give up my life and see her not be able to walk or use that right hand. But that's what happened. That's what we're in. And we enjoy each other every single day. She loves this ranch. She enjoys those deer. We can drive around on the ranch. She spots the deer before I spot them. She spots them out of the house in the window. She gives me so much joy every day. What time I spent taking care of her is worth every second of it. Live your life full of joy. When you feel yourself getting down, just fight it off. Just start thinking of all the things that you got to be thankful of. As they say, you can count your blessings. You got lots of them. Guys and girls, have you a great one out there. Be joyful all week long. I'll see you in St. Augustine on this coming Wednesday night along with Bill Nance, Roland Martin, and Johnny Morris. What an evening that will be. Fish lucky, and remember, I sure do love you.